Hello and welcome to today's practice, which is a gentle vinyasa flow. Props are optional, but you might want a couple of yoga blocks nearby if you like having them for your practice. If you're on a hard surface, you might want a blanket or cushion for underneath your knees as well. You're more than welcome to use any other props to help support you in your practice as well. So when you're ready, we'll get started today in a tabletop. And take some cat-cow, moving with the breath. Inhale, lift your tailbone up to the ceiling as you open up through your chest, bringing your heart forwards, looking up ever so slightly. And then exhale, round through your spine, releasing through your head and your neck. These first few rounds you might take slower than usual. Feel free to hold anywhere, finding an extra stretch as well. And then eventually feel free to start moving with your breath if you haven't already. Inhale, opening up through your front side body. And exhale, round through your spine. And take one more. And then coming back to center. Coming into child's pose, bring your feet together, knees apart, sit your hips back towards your heels, and start to walk your arms forward as you lower your torso and forehead, maybe down to the mat, or maybe you bring your forehead to a block. You can take your knees farther apart here for more of an intense stretch, or keep them a little closer together. And then start to tune into your breath. Inhale, letting your breath expand your torso outwards. And exhale out through your nose or mouth. And inhale. And exhale, drawing your navel back towards your spine. And then walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. You might feel a slight stretch in the right side body here. And then walk your hands through center and over to the right. And back to center. Take one or two more breaths here. And then nice and slowly press back up to your tabletop. And then we'll come into downward dog. You might walk your hands a little more forward, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. I like to take a nice deep bend in the knees here. Take a deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. Gently shake your head yes and no. See if that helps release through your head and your neck. Inhale. Right leg lifts up into a three-legged dog. This can be at whatever height is comfortable for you. You might keep your toes pointing towards the ground. Inhale. Exhale, release back to your down dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up, three-legged dog. Same thing here. This can be at whatever height is comfortable. You can keep your toes pointing towards the ground. And then release back to your down dog. Inhale in. And exhale, start to lower back down to your knees, letting them hover just before you reach the mat. And then lower all the way down to your tabletop. Take a cat-cow or two. And then when you're ready, come back to tabletop and stretch your right leg back. Keep your toes on the mat to start and pressing back through your heel. Gently rock forwards and backwards, stretching through the back of your leg. And then lift your right leg up and hold. You might tuck your left toes under. Also option to come up onto fists here, taking some pressure off the wrist. Inhale. Exhale, draw your knee in towards center. And inhale, reach your leg back out. Exhale, knee to center. And inhale back out and lower back down. And stretching your left leg back, rock forwards and backwards. And then lift your left leg up and hold. Inhale. Exhale, left knee draws into center. And inhale back out. One more. Exhale, knee draws in. And inhale out. And release back to your tabletop. And we'll come back into down dog. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. You might pedal out through your feet, dropping one heel towards the mat while bending the other knee. And then switch. And then come back to down dog. Take a breath in and out through the mouth. Inhale, left leg reaches up, three-legged dog. You can stay here, or you can open up through your hips. Bend your left knee, bring your left foot over towards the right, and stack your hips. And then back to three-legged dog, and back to down dog. One more on the right. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Stay here, or bend your right knee, stack your hips as your right foot comes over towards the left. Then back to center and down dog. And then release down to your tabletop. Once more, taking a couple of cat-cows here. Or if you'd like a child's pose. And then coming back to tabletop, stretch your right leg up and back. This time, you might also reach your left arm forward and hold here. You can always tuck your left toes under or come up onto your fist with your right hand as well. And hold here for one more breath. And then inhale in and exhale, elbow and knee, draw in to meet in the center. And inhale back out. And once more, drawing both into center. And back out. Last one, lower your left hand, draw just your right knee in and through to a lunge on the right. Feel free to keep this a low lunge with your back knee lowered. You might take blocks here for underneath your hands and take a few breaths here. If you'd like, your arms can also lift up overhead. And then twisting to the right, left hand comes to your mat or to your block. Twist towards your right leg as your right arm reaches up. And then release back down to your lunge. And then come back to your tabletop. Same thing on the left. Left leg reaches up and back. You might reach your right arm forward here and hold. Inhale. Exhale, elbow and knee, draw in towards center. And inhale back out. And exhale to center. And reach back out, inhale. Last one, lower your right hand. Left knee draws in and through to your lunge on the left. You might take blocks here. You can also lift your arms up overhead. Take a few more breaths and notice the difference between both sides. And then taking a twist, right hand to your block or your mat, twist towards your left leg, left arm reaches up. And then release back to your lunge. This time, coming to tabletop or taking a plank, or feel free to take a half plank with your knees lowered. Also option to come to your forearms and hold for 2 more breaths. And then release and make your way to your downward dog. You can always pause and take a child's pose here. From your down dog, take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, left leg reaches up to a 3-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee towards center as you shift forward to a high plank. And then step your left foot through, coming into a lunge on the left. You can make this low with your right knee lowered, or you can come into a high lunge if you feel ready for that. Your arms can be low or up overhead. And take a few more breaths here. And then we'll take a twist. So if your arms are lifted, bring them back down to the mat. Plant your right palm, twist towards the left. And then release. Plant your palms. Come to plank or half plank. Hold for a breath. And then come to downward dog. Once you arrive, take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, right leg reaches up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Upper body shifts forward into a high plank and step through. Lunge on the right. This can be a high lunge. You can keep your back knee lowered. Your hands can stay on the mat, or they can lift up overhead. Take a few breaths in whatever option you'd like. And if your arms are up overhead, bring them back down to the mat and twist to the right. Left hand to the mat, right arm reaches up. And release back to frame your foot. Coming back to plank, lower your knees for a half plank. Inhale. Exhale. Lower to your knees if you haven't already. Then lower the rest of the way down to your belly. Taking your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale. Press up to a nice low cobra. And exhale, lower. And press back up. Taking a few breaths in cat-cow. Inhale. And exhale. Or finding some other movement that feels good here. Maybe grabbing some water. And then when you're ready, coming back to a child's pose. Or if there's a different resting pose you prefer, for example, if you're trying to catch your breath because we've been flowing for a while and it gets kind of intense, feel free to stay upright, sit back on your heels, or take a block to sit on. And sometimes it's easier to catch your breath up here. So we'll take about 5 breaths wherever you're at. And take a deep breath in and out. From here, moving nice and slow, you can make your way onto your back for Shavasana. Or if you prefer, you can make your way to a comfortable seat. If it's in the morning, you might not feel like taking a Shavasana right now. Otherwise, we'll take a couple of minutes for a Shavasana and then finish the class together from there. So either from a comfortable seat or on your back in Shavasana, your legs might be out long. You might keep your knees bent with your feet on the mat. Wherever you're at, close your eyes if you're comfortable. And turn your attention inwards. Notice how you're feeling. Are there any changes you notice from the start of your practice today? And then we'll take another minute or so in silence. Feel free to stay here in Shavasana as long as you'd like. If you're ready to finish up your practice, start with a deep breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring some gentle movement back into your body. If you'd like to come up to a seat, you might roll to one side And then nice and slow, press up. Coming to a comfortable seat. Maybe close your eyes again. Come back to your breath. This might be a nice place to take some time for meditation or more silence. So feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and out. And blink your eyes back open. Thank you for joining today and sharing your practice. I hope you enjoyed our flow. If you'd like a little more time, maybe stretching after our class, feel free to check out this practice here. Take care and have a great rest of your day.